well dressed like your character in the film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are actually his shoes I kept.
You stole them.
I've never taken them off.
You gotta do
I sleep in them. It's a curious thing. It's an interesting look. It's not the greatest look.
Do you do that often? Do you take a little something from your character from a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I don't part with it entirely. I'll always keep a memento. And I also include a part of myself in every character.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like those were my jeans.
Those are my underwear.
Well, let me ask you about your wardrobe in this film, because your character, George, was very specific.
Very specific movements, very specific behavior.
Specific dress.
Yeah.
Did you sort of build the character from the outside in? Was that sort of your approach?
How did you
Well, there was a line in the script that she makes fun of me because she said, "What are you, a Brooks Brothers model?" So we had that. So I went to Brooks Brothers and basically picked them up. I'd send pictures of the guy. The only thing that really changed for me, he wore a tie, is that I put a bow tie on. Because I just had this guy, I had this sort of image of Harold Lloyd, and the glasses and the bow tie. So that was just like a little actor thing, but and I thought he'd just be even more square with a bow tie than with a tie, And my ENT dresses that way, so I kind of went like, very crisp. Everything was always crisp. And initially I had, when we first did the wardrobe test, I had some seersucker pants on, but they strobed in the digital things.
Sure.
She started to laugh at me once she saw it.
Sure.
Once she started to make fun of me, I knew we had a movie.
Well, Vera, let me ask you about...
You and your sister played mother and daughter in the film.
Was that a little awkward? Was that a little weird?
Or was it more comfortable than...
maybe having another actress cast in that role?
Honestly, it's very familiar. There's nothing awkward about it. I think, there's 21 years between us. I'd like to think that I am a surrogate parent for her. I'd like to think that I've modeled kind of, what's scary, what's not scary. I've modeled for her how to take risks and, all the stuff that parents do. I mean, she is, it's a very close relationship. And I think, I think what you're seeing on screen is kind of she was just turning 18 at the time. All this opportunity was coming her way. She never anticipated becoming an actress. I noogied her into doing a role in my film, and her career took off as a result of it. And so it's in very similar ways. I see her, we're on this like seesaw, and I see her going up, and flying, and advancing, and going up, and so I think what you're seeing on screen is what we were. And watching my mom go through it too. I mean, she was still a chaperone for Tisa at the time. And Mama wanted to come on set and see what's going on. And Tisa was just like this push and pull. You stay in the trailer, don't come, let me be, let me fly, let me explore. And seeing my mom's, that's her baby out of 7 children, and watching Tisa, her little baby, like fly the nest is what the story is about.
Yeah, it lends itself very well to the film. Well, let me ask you both, because both of you obviously accomplished actors and directors in your own right. Working with a first-time director, iamROGUE, on this film, do you ever sort of catch yourself kind of saying, well, I don't know that we need this shot?
Were you just able to
be actors on a film like this?
I had total confidence in Adam, and it was very easy. It was just, I had enough to deal with Edith.
With this one.
I also, just because you've directed, I've directed one film, it doesn't put this sort of directorial chip on my shoulder. I don't want, that's the last thing I want to think about when I'm, in a portrayal of a character. I just want to depend on him and depend on Adam to kind of maneuver me into the right places if I'm not hitting the mark, or if I'm, and I treasure my experiences with first-time writer-directors. Those have really been some of the richest experiences of my career, because they're newbies. There's an eagerness, there's an openness, there's a...
there was
puppy dogs.
Well, and you also have a dual role as producer.
Yeah, there was no pre-design for him. I mean, I think they knew the tone. Both him and Glenn German, who produced the film with me, he's also the writer, the co-writer. Right. They knew the world they had created. And they just were excited about seeing it come to life, and for me, my producerial duties was really was trying to raise the money for the movie. Once it was there, I'm here. I don't
right.
Then maybe in post to chime in and say, what do you think, and in terms of anything that the movie needs at that point, bringing the cinematographer I suggested, and Arturo Sandoval who wrote the movie. You know, but those are all. Adam is fantastic. He's very secure, and I agree with you. I think the ones I've had experience like that, writer-directors, you know, have been great, you know.
Last thing I want to ask you guys, your characters stumble into an acting class in the film. Was that at all anything like acting classes maybe you guys experienced when you were first coming up, or was that just sort of a Hollywood version of what an acting class is like?
No, I think it's.
Well,
was
Mira
pretty
is a
accurate.
real, she's the real thing.
Yeah,
okay.
she is a real teacher. She was one of your daughters.
Yeah, she
teachers,
taught my
isn't-
daughter who's in the movie, Daniela.
Yeah.
She's the dean at Cal Arts, and she's an extraordinary actress in her own right, you know, award-winning actress. And I suggested her to Adam. I mean, she went and basically took those kids in and just took over the class and started putting them through exercise. All that was her.
Oh, the breathing and all that. Oh, okay, okay.
Adam just said, okay, it's your class. And she's always said, okay, everybody on your feet. And
Yeah, but it is reminiscent because that's what I mean. In
That's
an
what it
acting
is.
class, you got to get down to the truth of playing moments, and it is very much. I mean, my memory of people calling me out and saying that's false, that's bogus, you're not hitting the mark. It's you know, and the demand for truth and so yeah.
Yeah, and the
It's pretty accurate.
yeah, no doubt, and the fact that they lose sight that they're in an acting class and it becomes like a therapy session, you know.
Right.
I thought it's like a turn in the movie. The movie all of a sudden takes on the stakes really get ramped up after that scene in the film. You know?
Well, you guys got to the truth of this.
Great performances.
Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed
Thank
the movie.
you.